What's going on, you guys? Kenny here, also known as Solomon85 with a cracking voice. Welcome to another vlog with some personal reflection, which I'll get to here in a minute. But real quick, let me touch on something. I recently did a serious mode before this vlog, and I just finished a Pokemon 5e session with some friends of mine and members of the community, whom are all friends. And but before that, I did a video. I did a serious mode talking about war in America. I wanted to acknowledge that that video was kind of harsh, pretty rough. I laid into certain personalities that are wanting dark things to happen here in America, or wouldn't shy away from doing certain dark things here in America. I stand by what I said, but it is what it is. I was pretty harsh in that. I did have an inkling to take it down, to be honest, but I'm going to keep it up. And I know it tends to make people a little uncomfortable when I do serious modes like that, but I do believe it is something that needs to be said and something that needs to be acknowledged, because people want to ignore that kind of stuff. And when you ignore those things is when they tend to grow and get worse. So there's that. Anyway, like I said, that video is what it is. I'm going to leave it up. But let's go ahead and get to the other section of the video, which is personal reflections. I've recently, like I said, posted something on social media, and I wanted to share it with you guys and add on to it. So we're probably going to be here for about 10 minutes or so, give or take. And we'll go from there. So essentially, I'm going to read the post and add on as we go. So, about 5 years ago, my life went through an upheaval and inner reset, like inside. It reset who I was. After my repressed memories of childhood abuse came flooding back at a funeral, I didn't know who I was, and the foundation of my life became a lie. That sounds dramatic, but it's the truth. Pretty much everything that I had held true became something that it wasn't. Severe PTSD and depression set in. It was the perfect storm of anger, relief, and disillusionment at this funeral. And this, it's the truth. It's this perfect storm of so many emotions that it's crazy. When you're dealing with repressed memories, at least in my experience, what had happened was that I had gotten hit with so many things that had been hidden, with a dark truth and fact about my life that I had hid away from myself in order to get through life, in order to be happy, and to just ignore it. But upon doing that, it had been buried so deep that the foundations of my life, that seed that had grown and taken root, had put everything in upheaval, since I had to tear that seed out, and it revealed itself. But it was also relief, because it had also been toxic. It had been poisoning my life, and it had also been causing me to not acknowledge the reality of what had happened to me, and it felt false. I never felt right. I never felt like I was in a real moment, like I was really living my life, until those memories came flooding back. And in a weird way, it helped over the last few years as I dealt with it, and I realized it, and I acknowledged it, and dealt with it. I might be repeating myself here, but it is what it is. It helped me to feel more me, of where I am, who I am, where I want to be, where I've been, more realistically. And it wasn't based on some false memory or an omitted memory. You know, it helped fill a gap. Um, but I lost all trust in myself, certain family, and members of certain faith-based lifestyles. The truth of the matter is that this had come from a trusted individual in my life that had also walked a certain path, supposedly. Um, and they used certain they used their walk of life to hide who they truly were. They hid behind it. They used it as basically a wolf in sheep's clothing scenario. Uh, I wasn't the only one affected by it. You know, that's the hardcore truth. But what this did do is that for the longest time, and I still battle it, it caused distrust. It caused borderline hatred of people that walk that same path. Um, and it's something I'm going to deal with for a while. But it's not as hardcore as it was. It's died down, thankfully, because I don't like living like that. I don't like going through that. But unfortunately, it was just the most natural reaction I had to the memory popping back up, and when I realized who it came from and who had done it. I know these are very vague, but I'm trying to present this in such a way that I'm not putting anybody in the crosshairs. I'm not putting certain practices into the crosshair, lifestyles. I'm just presenting my story, and hopefully people will understand. Um, People will understand what I've been through, who I am, and where I want to go, and who I will always be. For years, I battled with this lack of trust and borderline hatred. I still have my small battles. Overall, though, I'm doing much better. But I realized for the longest time that I had been playing a role as a kid, a role of servitude and belief that never truly clicked with my mentality and outlook. So I I am as some people would put it, I'm a man of the world. I believe in humanity. I am a part of humanity. I am a part of this reality, the realistic point of view of life. And when I was younger, I was brought up a certain way, but it never truly agreed with how I was, how my brain worked, how I saw things. So I had been dragged to certain things. I had been not totally forced, not by most individuals, but certain individuals in my life said, "You are this way. You are going to be this way, and there's no questioning it." Thankfully, one of these people, they're no longer in my life. The other, I lost contact with a long time ago. I haven't been in contact with them, thankfully. But the key part was that individual that is now no longer walking this earth, and that's the hard part. I'm sorry, guys, forgive me. Totally forgot about that. Um, that's that's the hard part because it does provide closure in ways, but at the same time, I'll never be able to tell this person what they did to me. I'll never be able to ask them why they did it. I can only make assumptions and only come up with and talk to people that were affected by that same person as to why they did it. What was their mentality behind doing what they did to me? And if you guys don't know the story, you can check out other videos, but I'm not going to get into it here. I am proud to say that I have made leaps and bounds in rediscovering and seeing my true self, finding my true place, strengths, weaknesses, and passion. Loving my family and learning not to point an angry finger at people purely for what they believe. That probably doesn't make a little bit of sense there, but basically, I've learned to grow away from it, grow away from what I wanted to feel, that hatred, that natural reaction that I was having towards being abused. Gotten better about it, but there are certain battles that pop up mentally, triggers that can happen, and it causes problems. It's never easy for those of us who suffered mental and physical abuse, but we're far stronger for it, stronger than most. I believe that. We go through hell to become warriors of untold strength. There are people that would deny what we've been through. They will say that our mental struggles don't exist. It's all in our head, and you're right. It is in our head, and it's because of what we've been through that has caused problems in our head. It is what it is. You can either deny it and help us, or you can deny it and not try to help us, or you can accept the fact that there are people with struggles mentally, PTSD, bipolar, whatever it may be. Those are my personal struggles with it. Believe what you want, but reality is reality, and you got to face it. Personally, my strength lies within and entirely on my own heart, fortitude, comprehension, passion, and intelligence. I've always been this way, and always will be. Basically, I'm a badass. But you're a badass as well, and you should never let the world tell you otherwise. So that's essentially that wraps up what I put, and I've added to it throughout the video here. But that last part, my strength lies entirely on my own heart, fortitude, comprehension, passion, and intelligence. I don't scapegoat. I don't blindly follow certain things in life. I am my own man. I am my own person. Whatever happens in my life, mostly whatever happens in my life, is on me. There are people that'll come in and cause terrible things to happen, but these are people that I've let into my life. It's decisions I've made to hang out with these people. It's decisions I've made to have cause and effect relationships. And it's on us to have foresight, use our past experiences to learn from that, and really face ourselves, really look inward and see where we're at, what we have to deal with, who we want to be. It's on us to choose who we are and what we want to do with our lives. And I'm not, and I never will be, the kind of individual that I can just give that away, that I can just let it go. To learn from the experiences we have in life, to grow, to try to better ourselves and better humanity without having to be reliant on some outside unforeseen force, really helps empower me personally. That's what I can speak to. And it's never sat with me, and I've never clicked the right way to be anything other than that. And when I played a role as a younger man, when I lived that lifestyle, and when that past came back to haunt me and to drag me down into the pit where I wanted to take my own life, and you guys may know this story, and if you don't, again, please feel free to reference some of the other vlogs here for any part of it. It was crazy, but I pulled myself out, and it wasn't easy. It's never easy. It is never easy to pull yourself out of a pit. It's never easy to keep going, to keep crawling, to keep pushing. But because of myself and because of family and friends as well, I would be a fool not to thank them as well. I did it. I did it on my own with the help of people around me. But you can't do it unless you actually want to help yourself, unless you need to help yourself, to have that drive and to keep going. And you know, and that's who I am, and that's who I will always be. I'll have my battles just like we all do. People get their strength from different sources. But I feel that if I was to try to get my strength from any other source than myself, I would be failing myself. I would be handicapping myself to doubt the strength that I have inside. Unmodified, unchecked, raw, with no other crutch to hold me up. We all need help. We all need outside help every so often. Find it in friends, find it in family, find it in professional help if you need to. It helped me. But never forget that the inward strength you can carry inside, much like myself, is there, but you've got to find it. You've got to keep going. And it's never easy. I mean, at least on my part, it's never easy to keep going. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. I should say never. I shouldn't say never. There's dark days and there's light days. But those days coalesce into something great in you and in me. Because I'm awesome. I am a great guy. I have my battles, I have my struggles, but I choose to be who I am and not to put that on any other source other than myself. You've got to have that strength. You've got to have at least that perceived amount of confidence in yourself to recognize that. You are awesome. Never let the world tell you otherwise, and never let anybody else beat you out of it. You're worth it. Anyway, if you made it this far, thanks for watching. And I wish you the best. Stay safe, stay sane. And I'll see you next time. Peace.